This tweet reads, "I'm a right-leaning woman who agrees with almost nothing the Biden-Harris administration has done, but the primal hatred and disgust Vance stokes in me transcends politics. I suspect I am not the only woman of my vintage, so to speak, who feels this way." And this tweet blew up. She saw a bunch of support, over 7 million views and 40,000 likes, and this turned into an absolute drama fest on Twitter that ends with Donald Trump Jr. getting fact-checked and a bunch of MAGA sycophants turning their back on him. So I'm going to break it all down for you, as I always do. You know I have your back here. So it starts off with this video of Tucker Carlson and J.D. Vance talking about women, and J.D. Vance makes a disgusting comment at a time when the Republican Party is historically weak with women because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. But watch this clip.
What he's saying is that we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And
so just a disgusting party that, number one, alienates a large part of their voter base, number two, has a little bit of homophobia sprinkled in there with the Pete Buttigieg comment, and number three, just doesn't make any sense. Why would you disenfranchise voters because they don't have kids? Even somebody in America who is 18, who is 20, who is 24, who doesn't have a kid should have the right to vote. Or what about people that can't have kids? What about people that physically aren't able to? Should those people have their fundamental rights stripped away from them? But this turned into a massive Twitter storm. As I said, Corey Whalen sent off this first tweet. Somebody replied, "I'm a conservative, will not be voting for Trump/Vance. That said, what he just said is true. What business do a bunch of childless cat ladies in the Dem Party have telling the rest of the country how it's going to be? They don't and they won't." So this guy starts off so close, so damn close. He says, "I'm a conservative, I won't be voting for them," but what he says is true. He's just totally wrong. Rachel Vindman says, "Do you feel the same way about childless men?" But this is where everything blows up. Corey Whalen, the author of the original tweet, responds, "Amazing how many men just readily confess that they believe women without children don't have an equal stake in society, that we are essentially meaningless, absent childbearing. Appreciate the clarity. These mask-off moments tell us everything we need to know." Beverly Halberg then responds, "I'm childless on Earth, but I have a baby in heaven due to an ectopic pregnancy. Not all women who don't have children are childless by choice." It adds insult to injury, to put it mildly, when these comments are said, which is totally true. She shared a very personal thing. Meghan McCain then responds, "One of my best friends did rounds and rounds of unsuccessful IVF wanting to have a child. It is still painful to talk about." This, quote, childless woman comment by J.D. Vance has made so many waves with so many different friends of mine for its insensitivity and cruelty to women. So we've just had confirmation from 3 or 4 different women who are conservative. And if you're going to tell me that Meghan McCain isn't conservative, then you're just wrong. But she is saying that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump making these comments is only alienating more and more people. The childless women comment is weird. Constantly making derogatory comments about other women. I'm looking at you, Donald Trump, who has called women fat, called them ugly on stage. They are total bullies. Darren says, "I agree." Also in 2021, Vance said Americans without children should, quote, "face the consequences and reality." These are people who are conservative leaning, and they're saying that they will not be voting Republican because J.D. Vance and Donald Trump just use such disturbing rhetoric. But this is where it actually gets interesting. I mean, this entire thing has been interesting and disgusting, but this is where things blow up even further. Caroline Leavitt, who is one of the main managers of the Trump campaign, said, spokesperson of the Trump campaign said, "As a new mom, my heart aches for women who are unable to bear children." At J.D. Vance's words are being taken out of context and unfairly attacked. Here are his full comments. So she links this clip of J.D. Vance speaking.
now let me do the necessary throat clearing because I do think it's important. Look, a lot of people are unable to have kids for very complicated and important reasons. I know, good friends of mine who have struggled to find the right girl, find the right guy. There are people, of course, for biological reasons, medical reasons, that can't have children. The target of these remarks is not them. It's important to point that out.
So J.D. Vance did slightly cushion his remarks back in 2021, but he has since doubled down. He no longer cushions his remarks with these sort of caveats. He has since gone full-throated MAGA. I mean, we have seen him devolve from a somewhat intelligent person who was self-aware and understood what was going on where he grew up. He wrote Hillbilly Elegy, which was not a terrible book. He was a never-Trumper, and he has devolved into this full-throated MAGA sycophant who no longer caveats his comments like this, and he just rails against childless people. And he absolutely was being homophobic when he said that Mayor Pete does not have kids. Leave a like if you agree. He was 100% being homophobic. Then Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr., who, by the way, was one of the people who got into Donald Trump's ear and told him to pick J.D. Vance. Donald Trump replies and says, "So the media is caught lying again about J.D. Vance and frankly all of the Republicans. After a few weeks of actual truth about Joe Biden and his incompetent administration, the media is back to doing the bidding of the Democrats' regime propaganda they've been doing for too long." So here's Donald Trump Jr. acting like the victim because he doesn't like the repercussions of J.D. Vance saying absolutely terrible things. Donald Trump Jr., this is on you. You're the one who got in your father's ear and said you should pick J.D. Vance. He's MAGA. He's loyal. You should pick him. And Donald Trump went against the word of more seasoned political experts, people who said choose Doug Burgum, choose Marco Rubio, choose Tim Scott, who all of those people suck as well, but you can see the benefits of choosing somebody maybe more diverse rather than just a white man from Ohio. Then here is the fact check. Ron Filipkowski, shout out to Ron, said, "It's on video. This video. Why don't you guys own anything and take responsibility for what you say and do? All you do is whine and cry and blame other people. Just own it. Be men. Stand up for what you believe in. This is like you disowning Project 2025. Just own it." And he links back to the original tweet at the beginning of the thread, and he actually gets more likes, more retweets than Donald Trump Jr. was able to get in about half of the time. So good on Ron Filipkowski. Amazing fact check here, and he is totally right. They should be men. This is the exact same thing as them saying they don't even know what Project 2025 is. They've never heard of the Heritage Foundation. And then us seeing clips of Donald Trump Jr., of Marco Rubio, of J.D. Vance, all admitting that the Heritage Foundation creates the policy that guides the Republican Party. Donald Trump enacted 64% of the Heritage Foundation's policy recommendations during his first term. He is best friends. He is BFFs with Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, the dude who called for a bloodless revolution if the left allows. And also, Donald Trump has consistently, in speeches, shouted out the Heritage Foundation while speaking at Heritage Foundation endorsed events. So this idea that the Republicans have never heard of the Heritage Foundation is totally false. Don't let them get away with this, and I'm glad that Ron Filipkowski called them out on that. And to bring it back home, the idea that J.D. Vance is now going to try to caveat his remarks by linking back to a video from 3 years ago, or not even J.D. Vance, Trump's spokeswoman, Caroline Leavitt, is trying to add these caveats when he has said the same thing in much worse ways. There is no backing down. Just be a man and just own up to it, like Ron Filipkowski said. I am tired of Republicans constantly gaslighting us and using this wild rhetoric than saying that they didn't. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, join the Mockler subreddit. Most importantly, have a great day yourself.